Working on a Toyota 4Runner, doing the front brake pads on this thing, on this vehicle. Went with some Bosch Quiet Casts. These are the best brake pads I've found so far. They far surpass Akebono, Werner, anything out there in the market. So these are the brake pads I took off. You can see that these are shot, not necessarily worn down, but just not breaking like they should. You can see the thickness of the material right there compared to the new one. Look how nice and thick that is. Nice. That's real nice. Alright, so one thing I want to show you of these old ones is all the backing plates on the old ones just came off. Just fell off. Right? So that's pretty crappy right there. One thing you do not want to do, these are all brand new brake pads. You don't want to get your grimy little hands, all the grease and stuff on your hands onto the braking material surface. Do not touch this with greasy fingers. I've seen videos on YouTube where amateurs are handling this and getting all their greasy paws all over this. Don't do that. Stupid move. Wear gloves. So you can see their backing plate is embedded. Not embedded, but it's on there. It's not coming off. I've never seen a Bosch Quiet Cast backing material come off a brake pad. So these are very high quality brake pads. No joke. And it also comes with all the hardware you need. So you have the pins right here, right? These are the pins I took out. These will cover your 4Runners, your Tundras, your FJ Cruisers, and your Tacomas. They were all corroded and nasty, so I took them to the grind wheel and cleaned them up. Put a picture of that right now. But also comes with the hardware you need. The spacers that keep the brake pads off the rotor. It comes with the new clips for the pins. So, and also comes with the grease that you need. So this is a great kit. Great kit. So I would highly recommend Bosch Quiet Cast ceramic, not semi-metallic, ceramic brake pads. And if you can, upgrade to their discs as well, their rotors. But I just want to show that to you. So this job wasn't hard at all. Let me actually take you over to the vehicle real quick. Okay, so you have the pin. One pin goes in here. The other one goes down here. It slides in that way. You put the brake pads in that way. They just kind of slide out. It's kind of like a Brembo style setup here. And then you have the little cotter pin that goes onto the pin on this side. And then you have the spring that sits down on the bottom. The brake pad with the wear indicator goes on the inside. Just keep that in mind. But this job wasn't hard at all. These are probably some of the easiest brake pads I've changed out in a long time. It's a very simple system. And replacing them is very simple as well. If you wanted to get the rotor out, there's two, it's either 19 or 22 millimeter bolts that have to come out. I'll show that to you right there real quick. Hopefully you guys can see that. So right there's one there. And there's a bolt right up there. You have to take those two bolts out, which you get the caliper free. And then the rotor just kind of flopping around in there, so it'll come out very easily. But yeah, don't disconnect any of these bolts that are holding the caliper together. Just the ones on the back here that are right there, the two that I pointed out to you. That's how you get this off. Place it off to the side, pull your rotor off, put the new rotor on, and then put everything back together. This job was not hard at all, but I will set you up and you can see me doing the whole job in fast motion. We'll fast forward through it, but it's not hard. You guys will see what I'm talking about and get in there. But just clean those pins up. The slide pins that go through here were pretty rusted and corroded, so I just took it to a wire wheel and cleaned it up that way. Right here I'm just pulling the clips out of the pins, and then you push the pin, knock the pin out the way it comes out towards you. Just grab the pin with a pair of pliers. There's a spring down at the bottom. Just make note of how that spring actually sits in there, so when you go to reinstall it, it makes it easy to put it back into place. I had to push the pistons back in when using the old brake pads while the brake pads were still in there. Push the pistons back in a little bit to give you room to get the old brake pads out. And then you go around to all 4 pistons. There's 4 pistons in this caliper, and you push the pistons back in because you have to make room for the new brake pads, since the braking material is thicker on the new ones than it is on the old ones. So you have to push all those pistons back in. It's not really hard at all. Just make note that to push the brake pedal 10 times before you drive the vehicle anywhere after doing this job. So just installing the new brake pads. Right there I have a pin. I'm just getting all the old rust off at a wire wheel. And then I use Permatex silicone full synthetic brake lubricant, and just coat the pins in with that. I'll put a link in the description below where you guys can buy that on Amazon. Just installing the new pins right there. Once you have everything lined up, the two brake pads and the caliper, the bottom part should go pretty easily. And don't forget the bottom pin. You have to put the spring back into place as well. To get everything to line up, I had to move the rotor a little bit, and once you move the rotor, it frees up the brake pads, and then you're able to get the pin in. And then right there you can see I'm putting the bottom pin in with the spring, and then you just clip the spring into the brake pads, and that keeps them separated so you don't have any grinding, squeaking, squealing noises going down the road. But yeah, like I said, this job isn't really hard at all. Just take your time, use a good quality brake pad. Like I said, Bosch is the best brake pads I've found. Bosch QuietCast Full Ceramics. You can find them on Amazon. I'll put a link to all the tools and all the parts that I used in this video. But if you liked it and helped you out, please subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email me at bundysgarage@gmail.com, and I will see you guys later.